What's up, Trojans? Alright, I meant to get another video out after the Seahawks game, but, I was away last weekend, and not a ton to say. Nothing really insane went down. Obviously, the Giants came out with a loss, which was unfortunate, but I don't think it was too terrible of a loss, even if the final score looks kind of bad. I mean, really, I feel like the Giants were 2 fumbles away from winning that, so that's something that should easily get fixed going into Houston next week, and should be pretty easily dealt with. I mean, yeah, the defense looked great against Seattle in a lot of ways, and then bad in some others. Adoree Jackson looked really good. Yeah. Just, I don't remember. I know it's a week back, but I feel like my review of the game would be the same if it just happened. Just a lot more focus on the 2 fumbles, because those were killer fumbles. The offense definitely needed to find some stuff. Just try to find some stuff a little bit differently. Again, something else for them to look at. They had 2 weeks. By the time they get to Houston, they will have had 2 weeks to fix all of those issues. So hopefully the Giants can come out against the Texans and put up a solid victory. I'd like to just be watching the game and, relax the whole game. Just be able to sit back, relax, and be like, yep, Giants are going to win this. Have it never in doubt. That'd be great. That'd be really amazing. Unfortunately, the Giants don't seem too keen on providing performances like that, so hopefully the Giants are able to come out with the W. Definitely should. Honestly, the team should end up, what would it be, 8-2? Yeah, the Giants are 6-2, so yeah, be 8-2. Hopefully they end up there, going into Thanksgiving, which hopefully the Giants are 9-2 after that one. Really want the Giants to beat Dallas on Thanksgiving and then beat the Eagles 3 times this season. That'd be great. We can lose every other game, honestly. As long as we beat the Eagles 3 times. Nah. So 3 more wins off the 6? Yeah. So the Giants could get into the playoffs at 9-8 and then beat the Eagles in the playoffs. Yeah, that'd be a full season for me. Anything else is just completely amazing. Hopefully the Giants are able to do all of that amazing goodness. But some bigger stuff happened, I feel like, during the bye week. Or was it? I don't know. I might have been after I think it was shortly after the Seattle game. Giants trade Kadarius Toney. Horrible investment. Sheesh. You go from a first-round pick to basically a 4th-round pick. I know it's a 3rd-round pick, but it's a compensatory pick, so it's between rounds 3 and 4. Counts as a 3rd-rounder. That's kind of bad value. Oh, in the 6th-round pick. We're going to get an absolute legend with the 6th-round pick. Just you wait. Now I say that sarcastically, but now watch the 6th-round pick turn into some legend. There was one draft. I forget which year it was, but the Giants got 3 impact players with picks the 2nd-round pick, the 3rd-round pick, and the 4th-round pick, and it was the only picks the Giants had in that draft. And all 3 of those guys ended up producing a Super Bowl. It was a wild draft, but highly doubt that's going to happen with either of those Kadarius Toney picks. Should be interesting to see him on the Chiefs. I mean, he's pretty explosive at times. Hopefully Patrick Mahomes is able to, find him the ball. Or maybe not, if he's on the sidelines like he was a lot with the Giants, hopefully he's not throwing the ball Kadarius Toney's direction for his sake. All right, on to the real stuff. Schoen did something I really appreciated over the bye week, and that was just talk to the media. I don't remember a single time Gettleman came out in the middle of the season and was just like, hey guys, how's everyone doing? Just checking in. You had some questions for me, okay? Trades for Laron Williams mid-season and says nothing. just as quiet. You're just like, you could have come out and said something about that. He's just like, no. Joe Schoen makes like the minor move of trading Kadarius Toney and then standing pat at the trade deadline, and then comes out 5 seconds later like, yo, what's up, guys? I kind of like where the team is right now. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Any questions? And answered a lot of really good questions. A lot of them being about re-signing. And I wanted to make this video right after I heard Joe Schoen speak, but he said that he was looking to re-sign some players during the season and then would try to do it by Monday. Well, I'm recording this Sunday afternoon, so if nothing comes out Sunday night, I think we're good here. But I was kind of hopeful maybe some re-signing might happen this weekend since he said that. I don't think anything has, though. But he answered, so I think after what he said, I mean, he only said good things. He didn't say anything bad about anybody. But in one quote in particular, he mentioned like all of the star players on the team that are coming near the end of their contracts by name. It includes everyone you would think of. I remember Andrew Thomas, Xavier McKinney, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. I think he threw Julian Love in there. Dexter Lawrence, obviously, I think he threw in there. But Dexter Lawrence has next season and the season after that, I believe. Oh, no, he just has one more season after this one. My bad. And I thought that was interesting that he's thinking about re-signing all of those guys as of right now. And thinking about it, I thought the guy he might re-sign during this bye week period would be Julian Love. Just maybe a little boost for the team. I don't know. Maybe you want to move a little bit of money around with that. Sort of get that set, save some room for Saquon and Daniel Jones. And especially the way he spoke about Saquon Barkley, though, when asked, I feel like he's leaning toward re-signing Saquon. Hopefully they can get the numbers worked out on that. Running back position is very finicky. It's definitely a weird position to be trying to, throw money at for re-signing a guy. But a position, left tackle, Andrew Thomas, I'd do that right now. Get him for 8 years. He does have the injury history, had some issues in 2020, but last season he was really good, and I don't remember him missing much time. No, he might have, I don't know. I don't remember him missing much time, and he was very helpful on that left side of the line last season. He's been great this season, too. I've seen enough. We can get him long-term here. I think that'd be a great move. Daniel Jones is a bit trickier, though. I thought he's been playing very well to this point, but it's not like he's carrying the team with the stats. He doesn't have a ton of help at wide receiver. The O-line, I think, is doing him more favors this year, but sometimes, you just want to see the quarterback get all those stats. He's helping the team win these games. The team is not winning the games in spite of him. They're winning a lot of these games specifically because of him, with 5 game-winning drives this season. That's an extremely impressive stat. Daniel Jones has definitely made a huge difference in his performance this season. It's helped the team out a lot, but I don't know about re-signing him long-term just yet. I'd like to see a little bit more from him, and the way the team is trending right now, even after, the loss to Seattle. I mean, that was the only other winning team facing a winning team last week. So, not the worst thing in the world to lose to the winning team. But I think the team's in a great position. I think the team's going to end up with a very late round draft pick. And hopefully for Daniel Jones, it results in the Giants not being able to trade up for a quarterback. Now, it could be interesting if the Giants decide to trade up for a quarterback, but the way Joe Schoen has talked about Daniel Jones, I think he's starting to come around on him a bit. I was thinking, Brian Dable made a comment in the preseason when Daniel Jones literally threw the ball right at Kenny Galladay's numbers, and Dable was like, yeah, I threw that a little low. I'm like, oh, Daniel Jones is gone. The way they've been talking about him more recently makes me think he's changed a couple minds in the building. And I think they're looking to keep him around for next season. They might have to end up franchise tagging him, or maybe Daniel Jones will be a very nice guy and get the Giants in on like a nice 2-year deal. Nothing too crazy. Like just enough to where you're not going to get rid of Daniel Jones after 2 years, but to a point where if he sucks for 2 years, you can easily move on. They might look to do something like that. Whether or not that works out, who knows? I mean, Joe Schoen said he was looking to trade for a wide receiver at the trade deadline, and it just didn't work out. That stuff happens. Xavier McKinney would be a guy I'd like to get back here. I don't think the Giants will do anything with him this offseason, though. I think they'll wait another year to touch his contract. Unless, of course, he's willing to take whatever they might offer him this season. If the Giants come in like, yeah, $10 million a year, or 5 years, or 4 years. Maybe he doesn't want that, though. He would probably want a little bit more money. He's not doing insanely well this season in the interceptions department, but his presence, in my opinion, is still felt in that secondary. And when he goes up in the box and gets some sacks like he did against the Seahawks, that was, yeah. Stuff like that is definitely helpful from Xavier McKinney, and I think he'll need to come back, be a part of this team in the future, but I don't know about doing it this offseason. And the other thing was the trade deadline. Joe Schoen was aggressive. I don't know about aggressive, but he was pretty aggressive in, I'll take him at his word on this. He was making calls, and he said he, talked to a bunch of teams about a number of guys. I think the Giants, judging by what he said, there's one other huge thing he said that I want to speculate about here in a minute, but one thing he said was a lot of trades didn't work out, like the value wasn't there. I feel like the Giants were in on Chase Claypool. I feel like the Giants offered a second-round pick and another pick, same thing the Bears offered for Chase Claypool from the Steelers. I think the reason the Steelers went with the Bears is because the Bears' second-round pick is worth a lot more than the Giants' second-round pick. The Steelers probably said to the Giants, hey, okay, we can't go with your second-round pick. It's basically a third-rounder. Can you lop in 2/3 or something? And Shane was like, no, I'm not lopping in 2/3 for Chase Claypool. Not a deal. The Steelers might have even said, okay, fine, just a first-round pick then. No, not a first-round pick for Chase Claypool. Giants are not doing it. And that's how you end up with them in the Bears. Because you got to figure the Bears' second-round pick is a top 40 pick. And teams around the league, with where the Giants are positioned right now, probably think of the Giants' pick is in the 50s. Maybe 60s. probably late 50s for the second-round pick. But it's a huge difference when you're talking about trades right there, right? It'd be like, a first-rounder for your guy. It's like, okay, but you just won the Super Bowl. That's the 32nd overall pick. This guy's willing to offer me like the 15th overall pick. It's a huge difference at that point. Get a lot more with that. So that's why I think the Steelers end up going with the Bears. I'm surprised the Bears were even in on that. I don't feel like they're really in a win-now mode, but I'm guessing they really want a chance to evaluate their quarterback situation. What better way to do it than to get them a wide receiver? That's what the Giants try to do in 2021. It's working out great. I feel like we've been able to evaluate Daniel Jones so well this season. All right, the big thing I really want to talk about, last thing. Joe Schoen said that he received an offer from a team. It was a huge offer. I think he used a word like that. Exactly. He said like it was a huge offer. He said it was for an impact player on this team. I believe that it was Saquon Barkley. I have no evidence of this. It's just pure speculation. I think it was Saquon Barkley. I think some team, because Shane didn't even say the team. Probably a good thing. Shane said a team offered significant compensation for a high-impact player, and Joe Schoen said, no, he's not for sale. I would not be surprised if a team said something like 2 seconds for Saquon, maybe even throw a first out for Saquon the way he's played so far. Like, we'll get him in here, we'll figure it out, just give us Saquon, right? Willing to well overpay for Saquon Barkley. And Shane said, no, I'm looking to re-sign this guy at the end of the year. Like, no, you're not getting him from me. I mean, we saw some big trades go down. Bradley Chubb got traded to the Dolphins, and then the Dolphins ended up giving him a ton of money. That's pretty insane. I think some team, maybe it was the Dolphins even, wanted Saquon Barkley, wanted to throw a lot at the Giants for Saquon Barkley. Not worth it, though, if you think Saquon Barkley is going to be a franchise running back. Don't hear that term thrown around a lot, but Saquon's played great this season. He was amazing in 2018. I think he's better than 2018 this season. He played really well in 2019 when he was healthy and everything was clicking. You got to remember a lot of the games in 2019, the Giants rushed Saquon Barkley back, really hurt his stats. And yet I think he still had 1,000 rushing yards in 2019. If not, it was 1,000 scrimmage yards. He hit a significant mark still in 2019. Wasn't an amazing season, though. Missed a lot of time. Didn't have a lot of good games. 2020, season-ending injury. That sucks. 2021, he could have been better, but he was dealing with some stuff. And honestly, I don't think Joe Judge ever put Saquon in the correct position to succeed. I don't think they had a great game plan for a running back like Saquon. Wanting to jump around and do more stuff. Judge's game plan for Gallman ended up working for games like the Seahawks in 2020, but that was for a guy to run straight and get 2-3 yards, or preferably 3-4 yards. Right, that's what they were looking for. Saquon this season, to his extreme credit, has been much better at that, just running forward and getting a significant amount of yards and not having a run where the Giants lose several yards. There's a play like that comes up every now and then. That's going to happen. That's football. But Saquon's done a great job this season of just getting the ball and getting the yards that are there. And that's what's really helped this team out a lot. And, yeah, I'm not trading Saquon Barkley for pretty much anything. I'm with Shane on this one if it was Saquon. It might have been Andrew Thomas. Someone might have been, 2 firsts for Andrew Thomas. And Shane's like, no, I'm about to sign him for 8 years. It's not worth it. Yeah, I could have seen a lot of things going down. I heard, I shouldn't say this without knowing the player's name, but I heard the Rams tried to offer, 2 first-round picks for a guy, and it was like, oh, yeah, no, okay, no. There was a report that the Rams offered the Panthers 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns, and, it's like, whoa, 2 first-round picks for that guy. Wow, is worth a lot. Why do you might want to take it if you don't think you're going to re-sign him, if you don't, he's not the Panthers kind of in a rebuild mode. Why would you not take that? You're clearly trying to trade away some star players, right? Why would the Panthers not take it? It's the Rams. Those first round picks are for the end of this decade. I think those picks are literally on the other side of this decade. I think it was 2025 plus. It might have been 2026 and 2027 first-round picks. It was so late. It's not even worth it. The dude making the trade wouldn't even get to see any of the picks until he's long gone. And then, those would start to be the picks where I'd start to be like, you know what, Rams, I'll consider it. But those picks are not worth first-round picks. Those are worth, third-round picks to me. He's throwing those first 5 years down the road from now. Because the Rams might start to fall off by then. Start getting in rebuild mode without their picks. But trade deadline passed. I was looking forward to the Giants sort of fulfilling a prophecy I had at the beginning of the season where the Giants, I thought, would act a little bit more like the Rams and start to become the Rams. Not that I thought the Giants would trade for a quarterback or anything crazy this offseason, but I thought the Giants were sort of in a position where they could start to do that. I thought it would be next season, not this one. But I think the Giants are in a position where they really should start to consider trading picks for proven players. That was sort of the main point of the video. There's comparisons between the structure of the team, yes, especially now with the young head coach and stuff. Or I don't know if Brian Dable's like uniquely young or anything, but new, younger head coach. I think there's comparisons to be made. I don't think it's a 1-to-1 comparison. I think it's a loose formula to consider. And basically, the point is, when the Giants start to get good, I think the Giants need to start trading picks for proven commodities. And I was looking forward to that at this trade deadline. Unfortunately, the value wasn't there for anybody. And you don't ever want to throw around first-round picks unless you know the guy's a stud. And I don't think any of the guys that were being talked about as being traded are proven number one wide receivers, any offense plug and play. I don't see that from any of Jerry Jeudy, Chase Claypool. I don't think a second and a fifth for Chase Claypool is a bad deal. But if the Giants were doing the second and the fifth, that's great. It's the Bears' second and fifth, which is worth a lot more. I think that's all I got for this time. I got nothing else. See you guys in the next one. Oh, okay. One last thing. One last thing. I found it really funny. I was thinking about this the other day. The 2 times I did not sit in my apartment and just watch the game on either my phone or TV and just watch the game like I normally do. Those 2 times are 2 losses. So hopefully, now I'm normally not super superstitious, right? I don't think because I wasn't wearing the same Giant shirt I always wear on Sunday, the Giants lost to the Seahawks. I don't think that's the sole cause of it. But I'm going back to doing that next 2 weeks. I'll be sitting in my room watching the Giants with my same Giants Saquon Barkley jersey shirt on. We'll be watching the team, and hopefully, the Giants end up winning. Not necessarily because of that, but hopefully, I don't know, the Giants end up winning. Hopefully going back to that helps out in some way, shape, or form. Got to root for the team the correct way, I guess. It wasn't even the Monday night game. I didn't do anything crazy. Like I said, I was away last weekend, but the Monday night game, still in my apartment, still wearing the same shirt. I just watched it on a different TV, and the Giants ended up losing. The only other loss of the season. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. All right. I got nothing else. Hopefully the Giants are able to get a win against the Texans. I'll have a video up after that game. Try not to forget it this time. If there's something to talk about, I'll definitely make sure I make a video. But if nothing crazy happens, I might wait a day. It was just after some of the games, I'm super excited. I don't know. I have different reactions after each win. And each loss. Completely different reactions. The Dallas loss, I was devastated. The Seahawks loss, I was yeah, whatever. Each win is different. The Titans win, I was super ecstatic. The Panthers win, I'm all right, yeah, I'm excited and all, but come on, Giants should have won that one. Who did we play week 3? Oh, the Bears win. We're pretty excited, but again, Giants should have won that one. Ravens and Packers win. I was absolutely ecstatic. That was insane. The Packers win, especially. The Packers win, I was really excited. That was a wild win. And Ravens win, same thing. I always thought before those the Ravens-Packers games, the Giants just got to win one, and I think that'll put the Giants on a good course for the postseason. Giants ended up winning both. It was wild, surpassed my expectations by a long shot. I mean, before the season, I also compared the team to the 2018 team and predicted they'd only get 2 more wins than that team. I think, again, just like the Rams thing, I think there's apt comparisons, but I don't think it was ever a 1-to-1 comparison. But honestly, at this point in the season, this team is nothing like that team. Except for the fact that Saquon's here, there's so few comparisons. The team is performing completely differently. I mean, yeah, I might be able to point to some of the comparisons I made. Like, oh, yeah, this guy, is, like, playing the same position as this guy. But the teams are completely different, it feels like. This team, the offense is kind of like a meh. The defense is, for the most part, it's like holding really strong. 2018, I felt like the offense was electric and the defense would lose games. It's the other way around with this team, if anything. The offense is doing like just enough to win games. The defense is doing just enough to win games. They've been really good at like the bend don't break thing, which is really weird. That was a Patrick Graham thing. I felt like I find it weird that Wink Martindale's kind of having that one in because you would think of a blitz heavy guy, bend don't break would be more or less like 2 sacks or break. Like, there wouldn't be much in between instead of a full bend, and then it's like, holds. It's like, field goal. Okay, Giants are still in the game. This team's great. I can't wait to see the rest of the season. It was hopeful for the Giants to do some moves at the trade deadline, but it's all good. There's an off season. There's always chances to add some high-impact players. Hopefully, getting Kenny Golladay back sort of alleviates the feel of a huge need at the wide receiver 1 position. But I felt like it's just a different guy every week that seems to show up for the team. It's like 1 week it's Slayton, 1 week it's Richie James, a couple weeks it was Sterling Shepard. It's like a different guy every week shows up. Wan'Dale Robinson starting to show up. Really excited to see him get out there. Looks like a solid pick. Exactly what I'm sure Shane thought he was. It just feels weird. Well, I guess now that we've traded Kadarius Toney, it all works out, right? And now that Shepard's hurt, it really works out because now Wan'Dale Robinson's like our slot receiver. It's crazy how that works. All right, I wanted to get out of here like 10 minutes ago, but see you guys in the next one. Excited for the rest of the season. Let me know what you think down in the comments.